But you know, some people have the allergies and they still eat it, and I'm just sorry. You know, and that's what I tell people. You know, embrace what you can eat. Don't focus on what you can't. There's so many different foods in this universe. It's no need to say, okay, I can't eat this or I can't eat that. Hey. Well, hi guys. How are you? Can you hear me? Okay, cool. All right, well, welcome back. I'm here again, and you know, year number 2 with a, guess what? A vegan 4th of July. Okay, so last year we did, you know, baked beans, we did a potato salad, we did Beyond Burger. And so this year we're going to do some different things. The first thing I want to do is first I'm going to make a tomato and watermelon gazpacho. Now, my twin, who's here on the sidelines, absolutely hates cold soups. But I feel like this is really refreshing. It's really fresh. I mean, it's simple ingredients, things that we automatically sort of have in our house during this season anyway. So I'm going to show you real quick how to make that. So it's so easy. You make it in a food processor, so you can use, I have a Ninja, but you can use any kind of food processor. And what I normally do is I put my heartier ingredients, so like my onions and stuff at the bottom first. So I've got jalapeno peppers here that have been seeded and chopped. I've got 1 clove of garlic, and I have a couple of tablespoons of red onion, some ginger. So, you know, I love my fresh ginger, so I'm going to grate some ginger in there. So it's about 2 tablespoons of that. You're going to, you know, tweak it for your own taste buds. And then we have tomatoes. So it's about 1.5 to 2 cups of tomatoes. Now, what I will tell you is this time of year, tomatoes aren't as tasty as normal, as they will be by July 4th. So I like to mix a little of the canned tomatoes. Plus, canned tomatoes give you more lycopene, so they're actually a little bit healthier than a fresh tomato. So you're going to put some tomato in there, zested lime, and some lime juice. And then we're going to put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And you can put up to 1/4 cup of olive oil. It just depends on how smooth you want it to be. All right, and then just 1/8 of salt, and that's really just for the tomato. And then we have some red wine vinegar, a little cayenne pepper, and then also some cucumber and some fresh herbs. Now, fresh herbs, you can use anything as simple as what I have here is some parsley. You can use mint, fresh basil, cilantro, whatever your taste buds desire. And I will tell you that this is great made a couple days ahead. And that's one of the things about this menu. I wanted to make it so that people could make it early. And so when you get your family together on the 4th of July, you're not sitting or standing over a stove the whole time. And just let it run for a couple of minutes. You don't want it to be smooth. You want it to still be a little chunky. And just like that, it's finished. Our star today is going to be incognito this year, burger. And we're going to wrap it in a collard green leaf because my twin is, she cannot have gluten or dairy. And so we didn't want to use any kind of bread. So I want to quickly show you how to blanch off a collard green. So you saw me just cut the stem out of it like that. And then I cut it in half. So then you just put it in the water. And I will tell you guys, you know, with the using of salt, and we know we don't use a whole lot of salt, but if you're going to put salt in something like this, don't put it on it. Just put a little bit in the water. And so that's like less than 1/8 of a teaspoon. And that will really season your collard green leaf enough. And so we're just going to let that turn a really, really brilliant green color. And once that turns a brilliant green color, we're going to set that to the side, and then we're going to start with the other. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, So with vegetables, again, this can be done a day ahead. Go ahead and cut your vegetables up. I'm cutting them at an angle because you get a nicer surface area. And with that, you can use these to add on to a salad. You can add them to a burger. You can use them as a burger. And that's what I love about using vegetables. And the other thing I love about vegetables is no cross-contamination. And I have the asparagus, a little garlic that I'm just going to chop up. So we love the dashes. And so we have a myriad of dashes over here because we don't like to use sodium. And so this is a fan favorite, the garlic and herb.
Can you hold it up for camera?
Yep, the garlic and herb. And I'm just going to sprinkle that on there pretty liberally. A shake of the chipotle. This is one of their newer flavors right here, the Southwest Chipotle. And then they have the traditional one. All right, and so with that, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my olive oil pump. And so this creates a mist instead of just putting a whole lot. So almost like using a pan spray, but this is olive oil. All right, so now I've got some sweet potatoes. So now we're gonna work on the incognito burger. All right, so I have some sweet potatoes because y'all know I'm not real big on the meats like that. I just prefer to eat regular meats, but hey, that's just me. All right, so I'm just gonna take my little atomizer and mist it again a little bit in here, just a little bit. I got my sweet potatoes in here. I'm gonna add some onions, peppers. I have two different types of peppers, sweet and the green, and then onion. And any, again, this has to be your taste. So if you like a lot of onion, add more onion. If you like a little onion, add a little onion. So we're gonna let that cook for a few minutes. And on this skillet, we're gonna prepare some toppings for our burger. Just a little olive oil, a couple of drops. And then I've got mushrooms. We're gonna get those going and let those work for a few minutes. And then we're gonna add the onions to that. And again, we have our multiple dashes over here. So let's see, I think with this one, I'm gonna use a little lemon pepper. Exactly, they're salt free. And also with that, I'm going to add some fresh herbs. And so today I brought with me, I have lemon balm, I have basil, I have rosemary. I'm going to show you a little trick with the rosemary in a few minutes. And I also have stevia. So I think I'm going to use a little lemon balm. You can use really just anything, any herbs. I'm not picky, to be honest with you. You can use basil. I just like lemon balm because I like that freshness of the lemon. I also have lemon thyme, but a little bit more tedious to cut up. Yes. Mint, yep, I have some mint, and so many different types of mint. One of my favorite is the chocolate mint. And it actually pairs well with meats and stuff like that. People say chocolate mint, but yeah, it does. It pairs well with really meats and vegetables as well. Yes, it does, really. So you can actually add a little coffee to your shiitake mushrooms when you're stir frying them, and you get an extra taste. So anyway, she's grilling off some vegetables over here, and so I'm gonna let these cook. All right, so I've added my onions to that. All right, so meanwhile, over here, my partner in crime, she's sauteing. We've got the sweet potatoes, we've got the onions and the peppers. All right, so now, like I said, our star today is really going to be this burger. Now, I will be honest with you. This is my first time using the incognito because last year we did the Beyond Burger, and I wanted to do something different this year. So we're going to see how that works out. It had really good reviews. Now, it is a soy product. So for people who are avoiding soy, that's not the one that you want to use, if you use one at all. Okay, so because I'm not a fan of, the fake meats, so I have some sweet potatoes in here, peppers and onions, and now we're going to add this. And this is the incognito, which I agree has a really cute little name. So with this right here, you can season this a lot of different ways. And it really just depends on the flavor profile that you want. One of the reasons why I use the sweet potatoes is because I like sweet potatoes with my collard greens. So you're just gonna saute this, and then I don't think it needs any salt because it already has, all of these have, to me, a little high sodium content. So I wouldn't add any salt to this. So, all right, so guys, what would y'all like me to add seasoning wise? We have every possible seasoning you could possibly imagine. Real time, come on now. Lemon pepper, okay. All right, so we're gonna put lemon pepper. What else? Smoked paprika, okay. All right, what else? Garlic. Gotta have the garlic. Right, I was wondering. Garlic. Okay. All right. All right, and so to bind this together, and we don't want it like, because we want it like burger-like. You don't want it to be mushy or anything like that. So I'm just sort of chopping this up a little bit. And it looks just like real meat. And then we're going to add just a tiny bit of the vegan cheese. Let's do mozzarella.
I was having that same thought.
What?
I was going to say.
What'd you say?
That's a little more than a little bit.
All right. So that's that. All right, so now here comes the fun part. I want to show you how to make these cute little pockets. So these were cooked yesterday. And all I do is, like I said, I split them. And I want the greener side on the outside. Then I'm just going to take a little spoonful and put it in the middle. So you just fold the side, one side in, fold the other side in like that, and then take this one and roll it over like that, and you create just a little pocket.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yep, exactly. We have kale salad, and we've talked about this before. With the kale salad, you know, I can tell people all the time, I use the pre-made kale, already chopped, shredded kale mix, and then I add spinach and I add leaf lettuce. I add whatever kind of lettuce I have at home to it. These are like the little seeds and stuff that come out of there. You can use those if you want to. If not, I simply just start adding stuff to this. So I just take a mushroom, I cut it in half, I washed it, rinsed it off. Chop the mushroom. I put it in a container. I might take a little tomato, cut it, or you can get the little grape tomatoes, and I showed y'all how to do that with the two little tops. Add that to it. And I always make my salads, I put the stuff on the side because you never know what people can eat and what they want to eat. So when you put the stuff around the center, then people can add what they want to it. All right, so then I may put some onion on there. Then I have my seeds. I might put a little cucumber. Now I'm going to show y'all how to seed a cucumber, and I want to show you that because for the gazpacho, you don't want any seeds in there, so you want to cut it down the center. And then I'm going to cut this down the center again, the length of it. And then I'm just going to take my knife and cut that out like this. People who have diverticulitis, diverticulosis, they can sometimes tolerate a cucumber now because I've taken the seeds out. I make my own dressing, and the dressing is really simple. It's just Dijon mustard, a little pure maple syrup, a little onion and garlic and olive oil, and that's it. All right, so we did baked beans last year, and so my question was to myself, because I always like to challenge myself, what would I do if I had people coming who couldn't have tomatoes? Because baked beans always have some kind of tomato base, you know, some kind of tomato sauce, barbecue sauce and stuff. It all comes from tomatoes. Right. So I had the idea, if I made those without, what can I make it so it'll be still red? So this is the creation. So this is simply 1 beet, 1 cup of carrots, celery, onions, garlic, and I boiled it down till it was really, really soft. Then I took some split peas and I added it to it and I blended it. I seasoned it like I would barbecue sauce. So I added smoked paprika, added a little cayenne pepper, a pinch of salt, and that's it. And I made that. So that became my base for my baked beans. Now, baked beans typically are what kind of beans? Northerns, what else? Kidneys. Yeah, and I used to put black beans in mine, but I challenged my daughter. I said, Amber, can you just soak me some beans? And she soaked cranberry beans, bill peas, split peas, red beans, and so that is really what we made the baked beans out of this time. So I still did my onions, my peppers, like I normally would do. I still use my bay leaves. Everything that I would normally do for a regular baked bean if I was making them the traditional way.
Don't worry, you're getting the recipe.
But I just use whatever beans because as a vegetarian or as a vegan person, a lot of times you have beans left over at the end of the week, right? Exactly. So don't let them go to waste because you put chickpeas in here. Yeah, of course you can. You can put any. Don't let the traditions of the South, North, East, or West keep you from doing something different. So normally we would put bacon on top of our beans. So what I did instead was I put spinach on top. And that was to keep the moisture in. And I added just a little bit of olive oil so they wouldn't dry out. So we've got, these are cooking. They're looking quite beautiful. All right, what's next? Okay, so finally, I wanted to cook a dessert for you guys today. So if you did the vegan, the 21-day challenge, we talked about the black bean brownies. So we made the black bean brownies. The black bean brownies are made in a food processor. Here they are. They look just like brownies, right? Okay. They are brownies. Exactly. So these are so easy to make. You literally put everything in your food processor. And so the ingredients are 3 cups of black beans. So if you don't cook your beans from scratch, then you want to take 2 cans, traditional size cans of black beans, drained and rinsed. 4 tablespoons of cocoa, 1 cup of oatmeal, and the quick kind. Half a teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of pure maple syrup. So we take the coconut oil and we melt it. You can put it in the microwave or I do mine on a skillet. And the reason why I do that is because you don't want it to be hot. So as soon as it looks like it's about melted, I turn it off and then keep stirring because I keep my coconut oil in the refrigerator. 4 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 2/3 cups of vegan chocolate chips. Now I will explain that. So a vegan chocolate chip is a chocolate chip that is made without all the extra stuff. It should just have some cocoa in it and some kind of oil, and that's pretty much it. What ends up happening is with the other ones is you got the milk whey and all that kind of stuff. So use 2/3 cup of that, and then you can put nuts in here. I don't put them in; I put them on top. I have pecans because we're in Georgia, and I sprinkle a little pecans, and you cook them for about 18 to 20 minutes. You do not want to overcook them because keep in mind it's a bean, okay? And then you just put it in the refrigerator and let it chill. And once it's chilled, it's done. So, last but not least, a black and white potato salad. So what I have here is, when I say black and white, I meant red, white, and blue. Or red, white, and blue potato salad. So I have purple potatoes, and then I have red, and I have fingerlings here. I've talked about this before. When you're roasting stuff, you don't want to put a whole lot of seasoning because it gets contracted. And so if you put too much seasoning on there, it's overly seasoned. So I just put some garlic and just a tiny bit of oil on it, and that's it. All right, and so then we're just going to toss that together. So I'm going to show you how to make a dressing really quickly. We got some lemons, and like I said, y'all know I don't waste any. These I zested for something else. Cut the lemons, warm them up. And if you can leave your lemons out on your counter, I would suggest, because lemons for us, especially if you're using low sodium, low oil, and low salt, lemons, limes, and oranges are your best friends. They will wake anything up. So if something tastes flat, if something tastes like it doesn't have a taste, or you're like, I can't really taste it, add a little acid. All right, so then I'm going to squeeze these in here. And this is my immersion mixer cup. And you can also actually put a little orange juice in here, so you can use the juice from one orange as well. You can add lime. So does anybody know the ratio to oil to acid for a salad dressing? Typically 3 to 1. That's right. So I got a couple of cloves of garlic that I'm putting in there. And then here comes the fun part. So any kind of herbs that you would like. So Gayla's going to hand me, make sure you give me a little lemon balm. This is parsley. That's parsley. Yeah, this is Italian leaf parsley. This is lemon balm. Yep. That's a lemon balm. Give me a little bit of rosemary. We're going to put a little rosemary in here. And rosemary grows so big. Then I'm going to put a little pepper in there. All right. And, all right, so that's just a tiny bit of oil. And here's the way that you can offset that. A couple things you can do. You can use Dijon mustard is another way. That'll help emulsify. Like Averill said, another thing you can do is put tofu in here. Tofu will thicken it up. Silken tofu, that will thicken it up as well. You know, so it gives you some options of different things you can do. This is a simple dressing that you can make. You can put a tiny bit of salt in it if you want to, a little black pepper. And then I'm just going to take a couple of tablespoons of this dressing and toss it over top of my potatoes. And what I would do with this is I would lay it out on a platter. I put my grilled vegetables on there. And lastly is the avocado. So everybody has different ways to cut avocado. I cut mine down the middle. This is where my grandmother did it. And then that pops off like that. And then I take a spoon, scoop that out. And if that won't come out that way, you can take a knife and it'll usually pull it out. And then you just take your spoon and walk it around the base of the avocado. And it pops right out. When it's right. And everybody have something vegan for 4th of July. Please, at least one thing. And if you're going somewhere, take a dish.